Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Chanel Case and I wanted to talk to you about Roe vs. Wade and the differences in crime rates since after this court case had happened. The video you're about to see is very controversial and I think that it definitely sets a tone.
What?
They actually have people filming you the whole time.
Cool.
Classic kill what kind of
Guess what? Hey.
Destruction of private property. It's against the law.
Somebody gets raped by somebody and they're like, I'm a 16-year-old and I can't have this baby. Think you should keep it?
It's a baby.
Yeah.
If someone is raped and she gave birth and she decided to kill her 3-year-old child.
I meant to get your phone.
Someone call the cops.
I really wanted to capture both sides of the argument. I wanted to get people that were pro-life and I wanted to get people that were pro-choice. This video is going to show you clips that are quite controversial, some of them debates from the last presidential election, some of them people that are talking together and speaking about why they are for and against it, and some other things that I found and sources that I found online that show the differences between crime rate drops before and after Roe vs. Wade and states that have legalized abortion. There are a lot of facts, I feel, that back up that Roe vs. Wade has actually caused a crime drop. And a lot of the reasons why people are pro-life are more about moral and value reasons as opposed to scientific. Now, this might be a little biased, but so far what I see is that there's not a lot of reasons why people are specifically against abortion besides moral and value reasons.
To make the decision, and I've never been anybody who's pro-abortion. Oftentimes they don't have good choices and they're picking the lesser of the bad choices.
Take care of the child, yeah, let's do that. Let's take care of the children. But we need to make sure that there are opportunities in place for all the children to be successful so that that child has a world to come into that's actually going to be good to
I am pro-life. I had 2 abortions. I know what happens to the emotional and psychological part of women.
When it comes to women's rights with respect to their reproduction, I think you should leave it to women.
I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. Pressing for a Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade would be a huge mistake.
Abortion.
Yeah.
At 1999, to Tim Russert, you were very pro-choice with your words, although you said you didn't like it. And in
well, that's true. That's a very important thing.
No,
I said I'm very pro-choice, but really just before that, they never play that.
I said it. I read it. I said it.
I was pained, but when they show it, because if they would go like 10 seconds before, I was pained when I said it. I was like, oh, I really don't like it. Then I said very pro-life, but I am pro-life.
Okay, so what?
Of forsaken heartland. Levitt's conclusion, as much as half of the 1990s crime drop was an unintended consequence of Roe v. Wade.
Unwanted children have been shown to be at high risk for crime. With legalized abortion, fewer unwanted children were born. Therefore, the theory would be that there would be less crime 15 to 20 years later when those cohorts reach their peak crime ages. And the data support that hypothesis quite strongly.
If you look at the states where abortion is legal, and then you look at the states where it's easily available, you can see that there's a differentiation between crime rates. Approximately 30% a bigger crime drop in the states where it's easily available.
I want to ask you specifically, do you want the court, including the justices that you will name, to overturn Roe v. Wade, which includes, in fact, states a woman's right to abortion?
Well, if that would happen, because I am pro-life and I will be appointing pro-life judges, I would think that that will go back to the individual states.
But I'm asking you specifically, would you like
to... If they overturned it, it'll go back to the states.
But what I'm asking you, sir, is do you want to see the court overturn? You just said you want to see the court protect the Second Amendment. Do you want to see the court overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, if we put another 2 or perhaps 3 justices on, that's really what's going to be, that will happen. And that'll happen automatically, in my opinion, because I am putting pro-life justices on the court. I will say this, it will go back to the states, and the states will then make a determination.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, I strongly support Roe v. Wade, which guarantees a constitutional right to a woman to make the most intimate, most difficult in many cases, decisions about her health care that one can imagine. And in this case, it's not only about Roe v. Wade. It is about what's happening right now in America. So many states are putting very stringent regulations on women that block them from